परिजन सहितं कृष्ण चैतन्य देवं श्री राधा कृष्ण पादान् सहगण ललिता श्री विशाखान्वितांश्च हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांता राधा कांता नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयम् उदीरयेत् नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठुकीम् ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय Okay, so we are reading from chapter 3 Canto 3 chapter 1 titled Questions by Vidura, text 17. Okay, recite the verse. Okay. Sanirgatah kaurava punyalabdo gajahvayatirthapadah padani anvakramat punyachikishayorvyam adhistito yani sahasramurtihi sanirgatah kaurava punyalabdo gajahvayatirthapadah padani anvakramat punyachikishayorvyam adhistito yani sahasramurtihi. Synonyms: sa, he, Vidura; nirgataha, after having quit; Kaurava, the Kuru dynasty; Punya, piety; Labdaha, so achieved; Gajahvaya, from Hastinapura; Tirthapada, of the Supreme Lord; Padani, pilgrimages; Anvakramat, took shelter; Punya, piety; Chikirshaya, desiring so; Urvayam, Urvayam, of higher grade, of high grade; Adhistitaha, situated; Yani, all those; Sahasra, thousands; Murtihi, forms. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, Vacharnavani Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. By his piety, Vidura achieved the advantage of the pious Kauravas. After leaving Hastinapura, he took shelter of many places of pilgrimage, which are the Lord's lotus feet, with Lord's lotus feet, with a desire to gain a high order of pious life. He traveled to holy places where thousands of transcendental forms of the Lord are situated. Purport: Vidura was undoubtedly a highly elevated and pious soul. Otherwise, he would not have taken his birth in the Kaurava family. To have high parentage, to possess wealth, to be highly learned, and to have great personal beauty are all due to past pious acts. But such pious positions are not sufficient for obtaining the grace of the Lord and being engaged in his transcendental loving service. Vidura considered himself less pious, and therefore he decided to travel to all the great places of pilgrimage in the world in order to achieve greater piety and advance nearer to the Lord. At that time, Lord Krishna was personally present in the world, and Vidura could have at once approached him directly. But he did not so because he was not sufficiently freed from sin. One cannot be 100% devoted to the Lord unless and until he is completely free from all effects of sin. Vidura was conscious that by the association of the diplomatic Dhritarashtra and Duryodhana, he had lost his piety and was therefore not fit to associate at once with the Lord. In Bhagavad Gita, 7th chapter 28th verse, this is confirmed in the following verse. Yesham tvanta gatam papam jananam punya karmanam te dvanda moha nirmukta bhajante mam vrata. Persons who are sinful, asuras like Kamsa and Jarasandha, cannot think of Lord Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Absolute Truth. Only those who are pure devotees, those who follow the regulative principles of religious life as prescribed in the scriptures, are able to engage themselves in the Karma Yoga and then Jnana Yoga and thereafter. By pure meditation, can understand pure consciousness. When God consciousness is developed, one can take advantage of the association of pure devotees. Shan Mahat Sevaya Viprah Punya Tirtha Nisevanat. One is able to associate with the Lord even during the existence of this life. Places of pilgrimages are meant for eradicating the sins of the pilgrims, and they are distributed all over the universe just to give facility to all concerned for attaining pure existence and God realization. One should not be satisfied, however, merely by visiting the place of pilgrimage and performing one's prescribed duties. He should be eager to meet the great souls who are already there, engaged in the service of the Lord. In each and every place of pilgrimage, the Lord is present in his various transcendental forms. These forms are called Archamurtis, or forms of the Lord, which can be easily appreciated by the common man. The Lord is transcendental to our mundane senses. He cannot be seen with our present eyes, nor can he be heard with our present ears. To the degree that we have entered into the service of the Lord, or to the proportion that our lives are freed from sins, we can perceive the Lord. But even though we are not free from sins, the Lord is kind enough to allow us the facility of seeing him in his Archamurtis in the temple. The Lord is all powerful, and therefore he is able to accept our service by presentation of his Archa form. No one therefore should foolishly think Archa in the temple to be an idol. Such an Archa Murti is not an idol but the Lord himself. And to the proportion that one is free from sins, he is able to know the significance of the Archa Murti. The guidance of the pure devotee is therefore always required. In the land of Bharatavarsha, there are many hundreds and thousands of places of pilgrimage distributed all over the country, and by traditional practices, the common man visits such holy places during all seasons of the year. Some of the Archa presentations of the Lord situated in different places of pilgrimage are mentioned herewith. The Lord is present at Mathura, the birthplace of Lord Krishna, as Adi Keshava. The Lord is present at Puri, Orissa, as Lord Jagannatha, also known as Purushottama. He is present in Allahabad, Prayaga, as Bindu Madhava. At Mandara, at Mandara Hills, he is present as Madhusudana. In the Anandaranya, he is known as Vasudeva, Padmanabha, and Janardana. At Vishnu Kanchi, he is known as Vishnu, and at Mayapura, he is known as Hari. There are millions and billions of such Archa forms of the Lord distributed all over the universe. All these Archamurtis are summarized in the Chaitanya Charitamrita in the following words. Sarvatra Prakasha Tanra Bhakte Sukadite Jagatera Adharmanashi Dharma Stapite. The Lord has so distributed himself all over the universe just to give pleasure to the devotees, to give the common man facility to eradicate his sins, and to establish religious principles in the world. Okay. So, in this verse, Prabhupada explained so nicely all the things, but I try to summarize some of the points. I'm not so qualified to talk so much on this subject matter because I'm not so purified and knowledge is very limited. But okay, just to bring in the context. So I was like, first thing I was surprised by the title what Prabhupada gave to this canto as status quo. And after hearing this first chapter, like I was part of most of the sessions, but I was not attending all. But I feel like from this canto, there is a lot for me to take and for the personal application and how we can act in the current world with the situation, like so much dualities and things, how we can act accordingly and how I can improve my behavior. So that's what I was thinking, like, and Prabhupada put the name properly, and I'm guessing in coming chapters there will be more for us to learn to improve in our personal behaviors. And in the next one, the other thing I was thinking, like Dhritarashtra, I believe like he is a dharmic person, though he did not act very dharmically, and he was guided and personally trained by Bhishma, all three, like Vidura, Pandu, and Dhritarashtra. So he is very dharmic, but he could not able to act in a very righteous way because of the three things. I think one is that his desire to rule the kingdom, and when it happened, like when the ministers and everyone decided that Dhritarashtra won't be able to rule the kingdom because of his blindness. So he was so attached to it that he wanted to get the kingdom. And during the same time, he got the association of Shakuni to guide him in very wrong way. And other thing was he has like a strong attachment to Duryodhana, and that's another thing which made him act very adharmic way. Though he's always he has always conflict, though he knows what is the righteous way to act, and because of this attachment and the association, so he could not act in the righteous way. On the other hand, you see like Vidura, which is he is fully unattached, And as soon as the strong words emanated from Duryodhana's mouth, he at once he kept his bow on the doorstep of the kingdom, and then he just left out for a pilgrimage. And considering that he wanted to gain more pious credits, so he would attain Krishna. So another thing I was just thinking, Dhritarashtra was being blind. He depended fully on his ears to make decisions. He is capable person, but only thing he could not see what's going around to see like Sakuni's thoughts or something, but he was hearing only his words, and based on that he was acting and his attachment. But when we choose the right source whom we wanted to hear from, so that would put us in the right direction. So coming to the purport, some of the points I just wanted to highlight. One is that Prabhupada mentioned that one can attain high parentage in this material world, like born in a very aristocratic family or wealth. One can be a great learned scholar, more beauty, but all these credits might bring materially a respect or the stuff, but they would not bring one closer to Krishna. So some of the examples I was just trying to think is one is like Lord. Mostly these are the examples from Chaitanya Charitamrita. You know that like I'm not sure where exactly. I think somewhere in South India. When Lord was traveling, he saw a Brahmana reading the Bhagavad Gita upside down, but still crying. Like when Lord saw that, though he is not a fully educated or a scholarly person, Lord accepted him as a devotee already. Like he said, you already understood what Krishna is, so you're already devotee. You don't have to learn all these things. And the other hand, other example is Lord has to defeat Keshav Kashmiri in order to understand that Lord. And at the same time, King Patabrudra, he has full of wealth, but Lord has to purify him. King Patabrudra has to go so many purification process, and he's ready to give up all his wealth just to get the association of the Lord. But finally, Lord accepts him. So all these things might give materially respected positions, but these are not needed to get the service of Krishna. It's only one needs to be purified, pure heart, which is free of. So in this verse, like Vidra is just showing that, like means though he is very much qualified, still he's not. He's showing himself as like not qualified, and he's going on pilgrimage to get those pious credits so he can see the Lord. And so next thing, I was thinking in the purport, other thing which Prabhupada is mentioning, Vidura considered himself, though he could go directly and visit Lord, but he said he is not ready to go and he is not eligible because he is since he is associated with Dhritarashtra and Duryodhana, he felt like he is not, his pious grades are vanquished, and he is not ready to go and see the Lord. So in this case, same thing, right? in the material world, like we hear like many times, whom you wanted to be like associate with the similar mindset of people with the similar mindset, so you can achieve your goals. Like, and so, and other thing like, and other point which Prabhupada mentioned was visiting the holy places would help reduce or eradicate one's sins. But I think the Vidra's main idea is to associate with devotees who are present in these places, so he could discuss more about Krishna, and he can be off those negative thoughts or more positive things. So in the same process, like he meets with Uddhava and also Maitreya Rishi and other devotees, and he discusses. Like I think with Uddhava, there is some conversation happens somewhere a little later in this chapter, where Vidura inquires from Uddhava about Lord and Pandavas and other things. So, and the next point, what Prabhupada mentioned is the Lord is present in all these pilgrimages in the form of Archamurtis, and Lord is very merciful. So, in that context, I heard this somewhere in some lecture. Someone was saying, so Lord is so merciful, like he's watching with his wide eyes, wide open eyes in Jagannath Puri, sitting to see if any small pious activity is being performed by any living entity, so he can accept him as his devotee. At the same time, he's sleeping on Anantashesha as Ranganatha, closing his eyes, also trying to let pass through our impious activities by closing his eyes, still to accept us. But the Lord is ready to accept us in either way. It's only I who is not ready to accept him. And besides these Achamurtis and all different forms Lord gave us, like Krishna is saying that, okay, please accept, please come to me, and he's ready to accept us. But you're not happy with the form of Krishna, it's okay, take Lord Rama and so on. There's so many other forms. If if we are not ready to accept any of the forms, for sure Lord Narasimha is there to appear from anywhere to purify and bring us closer to him. And another lecture I was hearing from my Guru Maharaj, and where he mentioned about there are two clinics in this world. One is for the body and one is for the soul. And when we are materially sick for the physical body infected with a germ or virus, our natural condition is disturbed, and it creates like a lot of discomfort, pain, and suffering. To cure this, we need to see a doctor. So similarly, all the living entities are infected with the disease of the heart. What's the disease of the heart? It's the material attachment. So in Bhagavad Gita 7:27, it's a Ichha Dvesha Samutvena Dvandva Mohena. So all living entities are born into delusion, bewildered by the dualities arising from desire and heart, desire and hate. So what's our natural position? So living entity's natural position is to be subordinate to Krishna. So, and when we born in, so we lost that position. So we need to that condition to be treated. So this And the hospitals for treating this condition are the temples, and bring one to its national position, which is subordinate to Krishna. So when we go and visit the temples, and yeah, we can donate and pray to the Lord. It will bring us some pious credits or eradicate our sins. But the more important thing for purpose of establishing these temples is to let us to teach us what is our original position, and to bring us closer to Krishna. And also in the purport Prabhupada mentioned the 7.28 words. Just Yesham Tantagatam Papam verse. The translation, it says, persons who have acted piously in previous lives and in this life, and whose sinful actions are completely eradicated, are freed from the dualities of delusion, and they engage themselves in my service with the determination. So, in the purport, Prabhupada writes that for those who are sinful, atheistic, foolish, and deceitful, it's very difficult to transcend the duality of desire and hate. Only those who have passed their lives in participating the regulative principles of religion, who have acted piously and who have conquered sinful reactions, can accept devotional service and gradually raise to the pure knowledge of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And also, I think Srimad Bhagavatam 1 to 16, also Prabhupada mentioned in the purport, twice born sages, by serving those devotees who are completely freed from all vice, great service is done. By such service, one gains affinity for hearing the message of Vasudeva. So, the thing, just to conclude, one is that when Dhritarashtra got freed from all these attachments, like after the Kurukshetra war, everyone died. Everyone died. Duryodhana is gone, Shakuni is gone. And when Vidura came back from the pilgrimage and instructed Dhritarashtra, he took the message. And okay, I hope. Thank you. So he lost his attachments. Then he could really understand what is the real religion. He could accept Vidura's message, and he did renounce, and he went on. He liberated himself. So one thing for me to take is like, in order to be, one has to be free from desire and hate, and to do that, one has to serve the devotees, and serving the devotees, one can develop the affinity of hearing the message of Krishna. And the next thing is, the temples are necessary for us to get purify ourselves and serve the spiritual masters and associate with the devotees, and so we can serve Krishna and liberate ourselves. And a question to ponder, even it's for me to though we are practicing Krishna consciousness for quite some time. We all know that we gave like many unwanted associations we came through, and I was just thinking. So it's a question for me: what other associations could be stopping me getting more closer to Krishna? So with that, I conclude, and please forgive me if I spoke anything wrong or misrepresented anything. With that, I open for any sessions or discussion points.
Hare Krishna. Prabhuji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Prabhuji, wonderful class in the morning, very well researched. I can understand how much effort you put into making this. I really don't have any questions or any other comments, but I just want to appreciate you, putting so much effort and making it so clear. Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Prabhu. But frankly speaking, as usual, my procrastination, laziness is always there. Somehow, Krishna's mercy, I found Maharaj's lecture yesterday. Somehow, I found it yesterday, and I could just get the points. But it's all Maharaj's points. If I misrepresented anything, please forgive me. Yeah. Okay, it's 8:05, and if no one has any other thoughts or points, we could conclude. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripasindhubhyevacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. All Vaishnavas.